You're listening to the Real Elevation Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and here we discuss topics on personal fitness, well-being, and elevation of mind and body. Join us as we help build and grow a community of real, elevated men and women. If you're currently feeling frustrated, flat, and fed up with life, or want to be a physically and mentally elevated individual, you're invited to join us each and every week here on the Real Elevation Podcast. Welcome to the RE family and get ready to elevate your mind and body. Welcome to the Real Elevation Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and today we have another outstanding, informative, and elevating show for you. I hope wherever you are in the world listening to this podcast, you're healthy, blessed, and well. So today we're going to be discussing 3 ways to create calm and control in your busy working day. That's 3 simple ways to create calm and control in your busy working day. Now, you've heard me mention this before, and you will continue to hear me discuss the importance of being in a calm and controlled manner as you go throughout your day. It's part of the realization form or the realization phase that we often talk about when we are talking about keeping it real. You've heard me say, be well, be wise, be cool, be calm. And that's so important, especially in today's hectic, manic, and rapidly changing world, to be able to be calm, be cool, be collective, so you can look at things in a controlled and a real rounded manner. Often we get caught up in just being busy, especially in our working days, and often we can get into this position where we're often overwhelmed. But if we can create a space for calm, if we can create a space for being cool and collected, often we can navigate difficult situations much, much better. So what is it, what we're talking about where we're being calm? I'm just going to share with you just a few definitions of what the term calm means. So 1, almost without motion or being still. Number 2, not being disturbed or agitated or excited, under control. And number 3, to be tranquil, serene, or speak calmly. And number 4, absence of disturbance or motionless. So they're just a few definitions of what it is to be calm. So you can understand what it is to be, or you have a little bit more of an understanding now of what it is to be calm, or why it is important to have those adjectives, those descriptions in your life. It's important to stay calm throughout your day as frequently as possible, because as I touched on before, when, let's be honest, shit hits the fan, things don't go quite well, or the way you was intending it or plan it, you can deal with that situation much more level-headed. It helps when you are calm, because you can able to think in a much more rounded manner. If you're in a place where you're fraught, or you're a bit het up, or you're being in a place where you're not really looking at things logically, the likelihood of you making mistakes or errors, or maybe offending people or saying something they didn't really mean, is much more increased. If you're in a discussion with maybe one of your colleagues at work, or even if you take that in a home environment, if you're raising your voice and you're shouting and you're just trying to get your point across, and you're not being collected, you're not being cool, you're not being calm, the likelihood of that situation escalating is much more increased as well. I can say that, both on a professional level, when I've been in the situations, and on a personal level, being a parent, if you've got young children, I could share you countless stories of time where I've been pushed by my children and I've lost my shit, and I've just got into this space where I'm just trying to get them to do what I want to do. I'm not being cool, I'm not being calm, I'm just being very reactive, and the situation just escalates, and next thing you know, it's spiraled out of control. Again, in a work environment, that situation, although I can say it doesn't happen very often, there has been situations where I've lost it with people. And I'm not saying for 1 minute that I'm holier than thou. Things happen. but hopefully we learn from those situations. So it's important to make sure that as often as possible, you are being calm, you are being collected, you are being cool. So I'm going to share with you 3 simple ways that you can create calm and control in your busy working day, because we now know the importance of staying calm and controlled and navigating a day from this space. Number 1, set your intentions for the day ahead. Set your intentions for the day ahead. What I mean by that is that when you have a plan of how you would like ideally your day to go, you are consciously and subconsciously setting your mind on the right path. I know it's not easy because often the alarm clock goes off, we get up, we're in this mode of either looking after the kids or getting ourselves ready, having a quick coffee, getting in the car or getting on the train, or next thing you know, you're sat in front of your desk or in your first meeting, and next thing the day just spirals into this autopilot. But if you are setting an intention of how ideally you would like your day to spin out, how ideally you'd like to see the day work out, you are much more likely to follow those intentions. This is why I like to say, if you can do it the night before, when you're sleeping, your subconscious mind is working on those things that you've identified, you've highlighted as your intentions for the following day. So if you can do it, I know I often like to do it the night before, because I know as soon as I get up, or even before I get up, because the kids are coming into the bedroom before we've even woken, the day just takes over. So if I set my intentions the night before, I've written down what I've got to do, written down my intentions, my goals, what I'd like to see happen in an ideal scenario, my subconscious mind is working on that overnight. So set your intention. By being deliberate and setting your intention on the day before, you're creating that reality. You're subconsciously creating that reality. You're subconsciously working on those things actually coming to pass and making those things actually happen just the way that you'd ideally like to see. So be intentional, set your intentions, make sure that you're clear in exactly what you want to do, and don't feel that you have to do everything. I know often we get caught up in this, we have to get lots of things done. Focus on quality rather than quantity in terms of your intentions of what you'd like to see happen. Remember, we're trying to create calm, so less can often lead to more. Don't feel that you have to do lots of things as you go throughout your day. Think about being productive and keeping things super simple. That way you're going to be more likely to keep to those intentions, create that calm, stay in control, and be more creative throughout your day, be more constructive and be more productive. So number 1, make sure that you're setting intentions for the day. Okay, number 2, stay focused and avoid multitasking. Now I get it. We often think multitasking is a skill. And let's be honest, when done correctly, it can help with productivity. However, for most people throughout their day, when they're multitasking, it often leads to stress and overwhelm. So in order to help create that calm and control, try just focusing on doing one task at a time and doing that one task well. If you're at work and you've got lots of projects going on and you feel that you've got to try spin this plate and spin that plate and deal with this email and deal with that conversation, it often creates distraction, and distraction can lead to that sense of what's actually going on here. What is it actually I am working on? I know from my personal experience as a manager, one of the things I had to deal with was organizing people's workflow and their time, and it involved using this particular piece of software. It wasn't the most intuitive, but when done correctly, it was effective because it allowed people to see how their day would look, so the team would know what they would need to be doing. But I know when I was actually deep in that task, if I ever got distracted and I ever tried to leave that particular task and then just answer this email that's just come through, or someone comes in the office and they ask me this particular question, I know it would lead to distraction. And often when that happened, the task wouldn't get done very well. It would lead to errors and mistakes and oversights on my behalf. So I know that when I was doing that particular job, working with that particular piece of software in order to make sure the schedule was done correctly, I had to be fully immersed. I had to concentrate, so I couldn't multitask. And that's my advice for you. I'm trying to encourage you to create a sense of calm and control throughout your day. So try to avoid multitasking, trying to avoid being overproductive. I talked about this briefly when I was talking about intentions in number 1 section, when I said less is often more. If you can just focus on one particular task, doing it well, then moving on to the next task, doing it well, moving on to the next task, doing it well, your day will be filled with calm and much more control. So remember what we're talking about today, guys. We're talking about 3 simple ways to create calm and control in your busy working day. So number 3, take time out. Now, this is a big one, guys, because many people, when they get into their work environment, it's just go, 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 nose to the grindstone, not even stopping for any sort of time out or even lunch break. And, I can often see this when I'm speaking to many of the clients that I work with, is that they're just in this mode of go all the time. So if you're looking to create more calm, more control, especially in your work environment when you're busy and trying to be productive, you need to be deliberate and taking time out. Be on purpose and creating space and setting working windows. So when I say working windows, I'm talking about working for a period of time, then taking time out, working for a period of time, and then taking time out. One of the techniques that you may have heard, and I've shared with you before, is the Pomodoro technique, and it's a time management method. You may have heard of it before, developed by Italian, I believe it was, Francesco Serlino, in the late 80s. And basically the concept is that we use these typically 25-minute work windows, and then we have a little break. 25-minute work windows, and then we have a break. So the idea here is that you're being as productive as you can in that 25 minutes, and it may be longer, it may be shorter, but then you're having a bit of space, and then you're back on that task again. And it's been proven by different researchers, by different people experiencing this technique or using this technique or utilizing this method, is that when people have these work windows, they're much more productive. And that's something that you may want to look to employ if it's feasible in your working environment. Because again, what we're trying to do here is create that sense of control, that sense of calm throughout your busy working day. So working with that Pomodoro technique can be very, very useful. I know something, when I was writing my first book, it's something that I employed. It was a little bit more than 25 minutes. It was around about 45 minutes where I'd work, get up and walk away, come back to the computer, and then go again. Work efficiently, and one of the things that can help you to do that is move away from your workstation. So if you're employing this Pomodoro technique, don't just stop, get up and get away from that particular workstation. Helps you to create space, helps you to decompress for a period of time, and then you can go back in that work environment. Just that simple change of environment for a short period of time can have a massive impact on your productivity and the way you're working and the way you're being creative in that particular task and getting that particular task or tasks done at any particular time. Another big thing is to get outside and breathe some fresh air. You've heard me say this and you'll hear me say it again. It's important that you understand that by being out in nature, getting out in the fresh air, even if it's cold, even if it's warm, getting away in that fresh air has massive benefits in terms of the health, both physiologically, mentally and spiritually as well. So getting outside, away from the desk, being in nature, even if it's a short period of time. Now I get it, depending on where you work and your work environment, that might not always be feasible, but most people can get outside at some point. If you work in an office block, you can go outside, go for a walk around the block, breathe in some fresh air, then come back in. If you're fortunate enough, like myself, to work in an environment where it's surrounded by nature, take advantage of that. Get outside, breathe in that fresh air, then get back in and do what you need to do. Breathing in fresh air, taking in some nice deep breaths while you're working can have huge implications, positive implications on how you perform. So even if it's not outside, the other thing that you can do to be more productive, create that calm and that control is to just practice some simple breathing techniques. Now, you've heard me share these before. I'll leave a link in the description how you can look at the different breathing practices and the benefits of those. But taking time out just to employ some simple breathing techniques can have a huge impact on how productive you are and how calm you are throughout your day. So there you are, guys. I've given you 3 powerful and really simple things that you can do to create calm and control in your busy working day. These things don't cost you anything. You just have to have maybe a shift of mindset and be on purpose. We talk about 1, set your intentions for the day. Be on purpose in terms of what you'd like to see happen throughout your day or each day of the week. Number 2, stay focused. Try avoid multitasking and running around like a headless chicken doing lots of things badly as opposed to doing one thing really, really well. And number 3, take time out. Be intentional on creating space in your working day. Get outside into nature. I mentioned about employing that Pomodoro technique, getting out in some fresh air and practicing some breathing exercises. I'll leave a link in the description so you can look at those. So simple things, 3 simple things that you can do to create calm and control in your busy working day. We speak about this on the Real Rejuvenation course where we talk about it important to create rest. And this is allowing you to create rest because it can't always be work, and go. Creating calm and control is going to help you to rejuvenate, help you to be more productive, help you to have a space and a mentality of more creativity and more productivity. So let me know what you think. Are you going to be able to employ those 3 simple ways to be more creative? I'd love to hear if that's something that you're going to do. Remember, you can connect with me in different ways on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and obviously on Facebook and directly via email. Let me know if that's something that you're going to do to create calm and control in your day, guys. So again, thank you for joining me today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe and connect with me, as I mentioned, over those different platforms as we set to grow and continue to share the word and expand people's knowledge in the Real Elevation community. Until next time, guys, be well, be wise, be cool, be calm, and keep it real. Blessings and chi. Peace.